Hi everyone, Linda Heldman here for Canadian Beats. I have with me on the phone today Wes Mason, who is a singer-songwriter from Rockwood, Ontario. Welcome, Wes.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Great to chat with you. I hear you're a little bit under the weather today, so we'll try not to strain your voice too much.
Thank you.
Now, I have to say, growing up in Rockwood, which is kind of on the outskirts of Guelph, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's about where it is.
Okay. How did music come into your life growing up, and what made you decide, hey, yes, music is the career path I want to take in my life?
Well, I started music when I was 5. I picked up the piano, and music, not songwriting, but music was always a part of my life. Like since age 5, I started the guitar, the drums, and when I got into high school, I started to write songs. But I didn't really realize that music was a true part of my life. I mean, I always knew it was a huge part of my life as a hobby, but as a career, I didn't think it could happen until about the end of high school when I really started to believe in myself and my songwriting, I guess.
Great, great. So you've been writing songs then since you say around high school.
Yeah, I would say the earliest songs might have been 14 years old.
Great, great. 5 is
Yeah.
certainly a young age to start music, but when you're playing piano, that's a good thing because when you learn early, it does take you through a lot of the rest of your life as far as discipline goes. If you were taking lessons, I know it's very disciplined for piano.
Yeah, definitely. I think piano was the best thing for me to start on because it's such a straightforward view of music
Mm-hmm.
and it works together. So I'm really glad I started with piano. Yeah.
Good, good. Did you go through the conservatory levels of piano?
No, I actually didn't. I never learned how to read, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've taken piano lessons my whole life, but I haven't really got as much as I should have out of all the lessons because I've always been into creating music, not reading it. And
Mm-hmm.
as a child, I was way too stubborn to ever get myself to play what's in the book.
Okay, I understand that. I love music. I sing. I do stuff like that. I can read it if I really concentrate on it, but yeah, that skill kind of left me. As you say, when you're creative, it's kind of like, no, I'm just going to play what it is and take it from
Yeah,
there.
just
Alrighty.
have fun.
um, so during your growing up, and we have to say that you are currently 18. You have a birthday September 2nd, and you're going to
Yes.
turn 19. So early happy birthday wishes to you.
Thank you.
You've been very successful in many music competitions. Can you tell me about some of those?
Yeah. Just last year, I won Best Young Songwriter in the Toronto Independent Music Awards, which was a huge deal because that's the city where I grew up in, basically. And yeah, it's great to be. Um, it's great. It's great to have that title, basically. But the Unsigned Only competition is another. It's an online competition, and it's for songwriting. But my last single, Worth It, has gotten finalists in the screenshot category, which is really cool because it's basically songs that are well suited for film, TV, and stuff like that. So it's really cool to be grouped in with an international group of amazing musicians.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you've also been part of the CBC Spotlight competition, which is an amazing competition for
Yeah.
artists and musicians in Canada.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I got, I think it was top 20 musicians under 20. I got that title in the competition, so that was a big deal as well.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Now, Worth It was your first single off of this new EP that was just released in August 15th.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then late July, you released your second single called Consequence. Tell us
Yes.
tell us a bit about that single.
Consequence. Well, I mean, Worth It is a very acoustic style song. But Consequence is a little different because it's very upbeat, and it started out acoustically, like most of my songs do, because I have a folk background in most of my music. But what I found is when we took it into the studio, it needed so much more. So we kind of made it a bit of a, I'd like to say it's a dance song, but it's a lot more upbeat than most of my music. So it was really cool getting to go in the studio and record something that sounds so new.
It's a good song. I listened to it several times yesterday, and it's like I really like the song and the message in it.
Oh, thank you.
It's really quite good. Now
Yeah, yeah. It's a love song, of course,
mm-hmm.
and it's about regret and losing someone who's really important to you. So it's not the most positive message, I suppose, but yeah, it definitely marks a special time in my life.
Was that written out of personal experience?
It was. I guess it was inspired by a personal experience, but it was written about multiple different experiences. Like the song itself was basically just about a whole lot of things, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alrighty. And you did a video for that recently that isn't out yet. Is that correct?
No, it's not. It's just in its editing process right now, so it should be out within a week or two, actually.
Great.
So, yeah, I'm really excited to get that out there.
Great. We should. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying the video was almost done, and I'm very excited for it.
Okay, great. We should mention that I love this description that your music is folk with and sounds like a fusion of Ed Sheeran meets Coldplay. That's a very interesting combination.
Yeah.
And listening to it, I can get where that description comes from. It's very good.
Yeah, I basically say that because, I mean, on one side of my music, I have a folk roots kind of feel with storytelling, Ed Sheeran type style, but on the other side of it, it's a little more experimental with sounds, like perhaps Coldplay would do with some of their music, fuller arrangements and just more stuff going on with it. So that's why I kind of combine those two ideas.
And when it comes to your songwriting, I read that you're a big fan of Neil Young, so I can understand where a lot of that storytelling comes from.
Yeah, definitely. Neil Young and a lot of artists that, I mean, I love Bob Dylan as well, and I listen to a lot of folk music. So, like growing up as a kid, so I definitely have a lot of influence from that.
Okay. Getting back to the EP, can you tell me a little bit about the making of that, the production of it?
Yeah. Well, the EP is it's songs from I guess the last 3 years, and it's been a really long time in the making, actually. So it's really cool to see something come together. Like it's my first EP, so it I guess it's been about a year in the making. But yeah, the songs have been they didn't all come together at once. It's been like this long road of figuring one out at a time and releasing a couple singles, and now the EP, it's really cool to have quite like an official thing on the market that I can show people.
It just seems to bring, uh, I want to say credibility. I'm not sure if that's quite the word I want to use though, but it puts it out there that people can
Yeah.
actually go to one of the music streaming sites and go, hey, I can listen to this. This is really good.
Yeah, definitely. That's basically what I'm getting at, is that it's just really cool to have. I mean, it's not quite an album yet. That the album is on its way.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be the biggest thing to look forward to, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's coming out. My notes say winter of. So whether it's late this year or early next year, that's still in the works.
Yeah, early next year, around that time.
Okay, good, good. So all the 5 songs that are on the EP, they will all be on the album, or are there a few cuts that might not make it for other songs?
Yeah, they will be on the album,
Okay,
I believe.
good.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Yeah, I think all of the songs in the EP will be on the album.
okay, great. Now, November is going to be a pretty exciting event for you. You're going to be in Toronto performing at Indie Week.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. I think November 7th to 12th is Indie Week.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't announced which venues each artist is playing yet, so I don't know that information. But yeah, I'm really stoked to be a part of Indie Week. That's huge.
It is. It is. Great, great experience for you.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I'm not sure if I would be able to get down, but I'm sure your people will keep us in touch. And if I can't personally, hopefully someone else from Canadian Beats can get down and be able to see you perform, which would be really, really good.
Oh, definitely, that would be amazing.
Yeah. All righty. Well, I thank you so very much for your time today, Wes. It's been great talking to you. Anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Not too much. Basically, you can find me at westmasonmusic.com or on Instagram and Twitter under Wes Mason Music. But that's pretty much it, I think.
Great, great. Well, best of luck to you, and hopefully we'll be able to meet face to face sometime soon.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Thank you so much, Wes, for taking the time to chat with us today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great, great. We've been speaking with Wes Mason, and I'm Linda Heldman for Canadian Beats.